Hey everyone, and welcome to a surprising development in the football world, involving Colorado Buffaloes legend Shedeur Sanders. News broke this week that Shedeur Sanders, famously dubbed the "grown QB", has appeared on the Canadian Football League's negotiation list, specifically for the Toronto Argonauts. Now, this doesn't mean Sanders is actively negotiating with the Argonauts right now. What it does mean is that the Toronto team has exclusive rights to sign him if he ever decides to play in the CFL. It essentially puts him on their radar as a potential future acquisition should his path lead him north of the border. This news is particularly noteworthy because the CFL just released its full negotiation lists to the public for the very first time, making Sanders' inclusion a huge talking point. The timing of this revelation is, as some are pointing out, rather unfortunate for Sanders himself, but perhaps perfectly timed for the CFL, given his immense popularity as a rookie coming out of college. So, why is this happening? The article suggests a couple of key factors regarding Sanders' current standing in the NFL. Despite all the hype built around him and his father, Coach Prime, throughout the draft process, the report indicates that Sanders' pre-draft meetings with interested NFL teams may have been disastrous, potentially sealing his fate even before he fully started in Berea, where the Cleveland Browns are located. Additionally, he's currently listed as solidly fourth on the Cleveland Browns quarterback depth chart, facing a tough battle to even make the roster. The article implies that Sanders' transition to the professional level hasn't delivered in a meaningful way yet, especially after a highly publicized college career. It raises questions about whether he can truly find his footing with the Browns over the next few weeks of training camp and preseason. Ultimately, if Shedeur Sanders can't secure a lasting spot in the NFL, the CFL could potentially gain a significant talent. It remains to be seen how this situation will unfold and whether his father, Deion Sanders, would endorse a move to the Canadian League for his son. We'll certainly keep an eye on this fascinating story as training camps progress. Introduction. Big news out of the football world. Colorado Buffaloes legend Shedeur Sanders is making headlines again, but not necessarily in the way many expected. A new report reveals his name has appeared on the CFL's negotiation list, specifically with the Toronto Argonauts. What does this mean? For the first time, the CFL has made its negotiation lists public. This doesn't mean Sanders is actively talking to Toronto, but it does mean the Argonauts have exclusive rights to sign him if he ever decides to play in Canada. It's a strategic move by the CFL to highlight potential future stars. Shedeur's NFL situation. This timing is pretty interesting, especially given Sanders' current situation with the Cleveland Browns. Reports suggest he's fallen to fourth on their quarterback depth chart. And let's not forget the controversy surrounding his pre-draft meetings with NFL teams. Some reports indicated issues with his approach and attitude. This grown QB might be facing a steeper climb than anticipated in the NFL. The road ahead. Shedeur's journey from college hype to his NFL rookie season has been bumpy. He had massive expectations, largely fueled by his own and his father Coach Prime's promotion. But so far, that hype hasn't translated into a clear path in Cleveland. If things don't work out with the Browns in the coming weeks, the CFL could potentially be Canada's gain. It's a fun topic for discussion and a reminder that even highly touted prospects face significant challenges in professional football. Conclusion. So, will we ever see Shedeur Sanders playing in the CFL? Only time will tell, but for now, his name on that negotiation list certainly adds another layer to his intriguing rookie year story. What are your thoughts? Is this a genuine possibility, or just a team doing its due diligence? Let us know in the comments below. The journey of Colorado Buffaloes football legend Shedeur Sanders in the NFL has been anything but smooth since the draft. After a surprising fall to the fifth round, new developments suggest his professional path might take an unexpected turn if things don't work out in Cleveland. CFL's public negotiation list bombshell. On Wednesday, the Canadian Football League, CFL, made a groundbreaking move by publicly releasing its negotiation lists for the first time ever. And buried among the names was a truly eye-catching one, Shedeur Sanders, appearing on the list for the Toronto Argonauts. What does this mean? It doesn't mean Sanders is actively negotiating with the Argonauts or is about to sign a contract. However, Being on a CFL negotiation list gives that specific team exclusive rights to sign the player if he decides to play in the CFL. It essentially means the Argonauts are keeping a very close eye on Sanders as a potential future talent for their roster, should his NFL aspirations not materialize. For the CFL, this public release of the negotiation list is a strategic move, aimed at increasing fan engagement and sparking debate about potential future stars. It's certainly generated a lot of buzz, especially with such a high-profile name like Sanders on it. Sanders' NFL struggles. A grown QB doing it to himself? This news comes at a particularly interesting, and perhaps unfortunate, time for Sanders, despite the immense hype surrounding him and his father, Coach Prime. Throughout the draft process, Sanders' transition to the professional level has been met with significant hurdles. One of the most persistent narratives throughout the pre-draft period involved concerns about Sanders' attitude and approach during meetings with interested NFL teams. Many speculated that his disastrous pre-draft interviews may have significantly contributed to his unexpected slide to the 5th round. Adding to his challenges, Sanders is currently navigating a very crowded quarterback room with the Cleveland Browns. He's reportedly sitting 4th on the depth chart, behind veteran Joe Flacco, former first-rounder Kenny Pickett, and fellow rookie Dylan Gabriel, who the Browns actually drafted 2 rounds ahead of Sanders. While the NFL reinstated a rule allowing teams to carry a third emergency quarterback on game days, most teams still typically keep 2 or 3 QBs on their active 53-man roster. Sanders faces an uphill battle to secure a spot. The phrase, "the grown QB did it to himself," used in the original report reflects the sentiment among some that Sanders' pre-draft persona and perceived lack of seriousness in the evaluation process sealed his fate before he ever stepped onto the practice field in Berea, Ohio. Despite impressive college stats and a huge social media following, he hasn't been able to translate that into immediate momentum at the professional level. Will Canada be his next stop? If Sanders struggles to find his footing in Cleveland during the upcoming training camp and preseason, and ultimately doesn't make an NFL roster or practice squad, the CFL could become a very real option. The Toronto Argonauts would be the only CFL team he could sign with. The big question then would be whether Deion Sanders, fiercely protective and ambitious for his sons' careers, would allow Shedeur to play in Canada. This situation perfectly encapsulates the unpredictable nature of professional football careers. A player once projected as a potential first-round pick now has a CFL team holding his rights. A testament to the cutthroat competition and the lasting impact of draft evaluations. Conclusion: Shedeur Sanders' appearance on the Toronto Argonauts negotiation list